you had a pretty cool testimony, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's kick things off. Let's hear about that, man, because that was Caleb just told me about that. That's awesome, man.
So, well, I had about 5 minutes before we got on the phone together for another meeting that we just had a little bit ago. I had just led somebody to the Lord over the Facebook or from the Facebook ad. And then a while back, I had a gentleman who didn't even send in a prayer request off the prayer request.
This is my favorite story.
He just put underneath the ad, yeah, right. So the ad states, we'll pray for you. God will do something amazing, all that stuff. And he put, yeah, right. So I messaged him back.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah. So we got to messaging back and forth, and I led him to the Lord. And they've been a part of our church now for about probably 4 weeks. They're in our New Believers Bible study. So he's brought his wife and his son, and so they're getting plugged in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been awesome.
That's from a hostile comment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those haters on Facebook, man, might as well just get them saved and plug them into the church.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. I figure greater is he who's in us than he who's in the world. So,
gosh, that's incredible, Sean. Wow.
We just had two others join. They missed the story.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to recap it for him.
So I don't know who Pixel XL is, but Will, what's up? Good to see you guys, bro. Hey, Sean was just telling us about how he had a hater comment on his Facebook ad, yeah, right, on the prayer ad. And so he started messaging him back and forth, led him to the Lord, got him saved, and now he's been plugged in and attending his church for the last 4 weeks. That's hardcore, Sean. I love it, bro.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's good.
Will, did you hear that?
What's that? Sorry, I got in late. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. We wanted you to hear the testimony too. Did you hear about the guy that the hostile comment on Facebook and the guy that Sean led to the Lord?
Well, I missed it, but I'm not surprised. Praise the Lord.
Amen to that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so gentlemen, let's kind of dive in here. Does anybody have any questions to kind of start this off with?
Yeah, I have a quick question. We just started. Caleb helped get us launched on Sunday. Things are going really well. I appreciate all your help, even when you were sick, Caleb. It looks like you're feeling better, so I'm glad. But we have a question. Is there a way to plug in like the Plan Your Visit? I mean, we've had a ton of prayer requests come through, and I've been able to reach out to a ton of people. So that's part's being awesome. We had one person go all the way through to the kind of Plan Your Visit, but that doesn't get connected to the dashboard, or at least, or if it does, we don't know what we're doing wrong for that to get connected. Like if some website we took from the Church Hero or whatever, we have the Plan Your Visit all set up through, like when they go to our or to our regular website.
Okay.
The information come from the ManyChat. Does that connect, or does that not connect?
No, so that doesn't connect. It's actually two separate systems, and we recommend that you actually keep them separate. Okay. Right. So, because we've had some churches who've tried to, once people plan their visit in ManyChat, then try to take that information and plug it into Plan Your Visit, but then it ends up kicking off. Even if you did it like in real time, it ends up kicking off like the auto respond, text and all that kind of stuff inside of Plan Your Visit, and I think it's just a weird transition, and I don't think it works as well. So what we recommend is just keeping the two of them completely separate. Everything that comes through Plan Your Visit on your website, treat that one way, and then everything that comes through ManyChat, just do that, according to the cheat sheet and those video walkthroughs that we showed you, where, we kind of talk about it every week, but the prayer requests are not time sensitive. So you could, if you wanted to, you could wait until the end of the day and then just like answer all the prayer requests that came in that day. And as long as you're getting to them, like same day or even by the next day, like it's okay. I recommend same day, but you don't have to get back to them like immediately. The Plan Your Visits, however, are time sensitive, and you do have to call them right away, definitely within 15 minutes. So what we found is that every single person, this is true of every single church in all 5 countries that we've run this in, is every single person after they plan their visit, they need some type of personal connection with either you as the pastor or someone who goes to your church before they'll show up on Sunday. And if they don't have that, then your show up rate on plan your visits is going to be super low, right? So if you try to just leave everything automated, it's just not going to work. People just need that human interaction. I heard Dave Ramsey say on a podcast recently that he's talking about business, but he said people don't do business with nameless, faceless organizations. People do business with people, and an organization runs at the speed of trust, right? And so what happens is for those people to actually trust you enough to be able to show up on Sunday with them or their families and all that kind of stuff, there have to be some type of personal connection. So up until that point, they've seen your picture and they've kind of interacted, and if you're following the cheat sheet, then they've heard the audio prayer from you, but there still has to be some type of a conversation. It can be via phone, it can be via text, but there has to be like a text where they know they're actually like talking to a human and a human is talking back. And so without that, you'll have low show up rates. But if you do that and you make sure to make those connections, you'll have your show up rates will be awesome. And so we actually had a church in New Jersey that just started this last week, and they had 2 plan your visits. And I stressed this. I told them over and over. I was like, you have to call the plan your visits. We won't even set this up for you if you don't promise to call the plan your visits within 15 minutes. And so he did that. He ended up, I think one of them, they got into a text conversation. So he did, like we said, where he called, they didn't answer. So he left the voicemail and then texted them. The other one did answer the phone and they talked, but both of them showed up on Sunday. Right. And he was freaking out, super excited. But I was like, this is how, like, this is the new normal if you just commit to calling them within 15 minutes. Right. Because if you can, and what I would say is if you don't get a hold of them, if they don't text back, text them the next day. Right. Like these people gave you their information for a reason. They reached out because they're in need. They have some type of prayer need. And then they filled out a plan your visit because they want to come to your church, and they gave you their name, email, and phone number for a reason. So you would use it because they want that connection. So as long as you do those things and you're making that connection, right? Like if you don't make a connection, it's not even 50-50. Like it's like 90-10, 90% that they will not show up on Sunday if they don't have a personal connection. But it flips that. If they have that personal connection, now they feel like they're letting you down if they don't show up on Sunday, right? And they've had that personal connection. So anyway, it's one of the most important parts of the system. So just plan your visit separate and let that do what it does on your website, and then treat the ManyChat and that Facebook ads prayer system totally separate. Just send over the audio prayer and then just call them within 15 minutes whenever they plan their visit.
So I've had, I'm going to ask you to talk on this. I've had a few pastors say that we're already engaging them in Facebook Messenger, to which I'm like, yeah, I see your point. Like you've already engaged, you planned a visit, but you've already been maybe responding with a prayer through Messenger. Do you still need to text them? Do you still need to call them if they plan a visit if you're already in a lot of communication? Isn't that enough?
Great question. The answer is no, and here's why. I think it's psychological, and my friend here with a master's in psychiatry, marriage and family counseling, and all the psychiatrics.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Psychiatry.
So Dr. Steele here can probably tell you why. But there's something that happens like in our brains, like Facebook Messenger. It's kind of similar to email. Right? Like it's a little bit more intimate, but it's still like you send a message and they send a message back, and you can have a conversation in there, and it's good, but it's still Facebook, it's still social media. But there's something about a personal cell phone when people like hear your voice and you have a conversation talking to an actual person. But even text, right? Like text has become almost, not quite, but still almost as good as a phone call as far as connection goes, right? Like my wife and I might talk like on the phone like once a day, but we probably text like 15 or 20 times, right? Like, and even like the little like emojis that she sends me stuff, I'm like, I love that woman. I'd marry her all over again. Or I'm like, son of a gun, like we're talking when we get home tonight, right? But either way, like there's that personal connection on the phone. And that's why I think you have to move it over to a phone call, like not email, not staying in Messenger. If you move that over to phone, and again, I always start with a phone call, and the reason is I know that 99 out of 100, 99 times out of 100 people won't answer their phone. They won't answer a number that they don't recognize. I don't answer numbers that I don't recognize, but if they leave a voicemail, I immediately go listen to the voicemail, right? And if they hear you talking on their voicemail, right, just saying like, "Hey, what's up, John? This is Pastor Chris. I just wanted to give you a call because I saw that you planned your visit to Guts Church this Sunday. Man, I'm super excited about meeting you. And man, I just want to reach out, introduce myself, see if you'd like me to save some seats for you, and then just answer any questions that you might have about church. I know, man, I know it can be a little bit intimidating visiting a church for the first time. So man, just give me a call back. This is my cell phone. We'll talk to you soon. Right. Or give me a call back. Here's the church number, whatever it is. Right. But like leave that and then text them. And then that way, like you're basically just saying the same thing. But now they've got a voicemail and they've heard your phone. They've heard you using their name, talking, just calling and being laid back, wanting to introduce yourself, answer any questions they have. They already interacted with you on Facebook, saw your Facebook ad. They've had an audio prayer from people, or the audio prayer from you. So they've heard your voice that way. Then they heard the voicemail. And now they're getting a text. Like it's just showing that you care, right? And that's what everybody wants. They just want a connection. They wouldn't have planned if they didn't want that personal relationship, that personal connection, and that conversation with you. So anyway, that's why I like to move it out of Messenger into the phone. And we found that's how you get the show up rates as high as possible.
So it's kind of it's what you've said in the past about. We don't want to treat them like VIP. We want to treat them like family. Yeah. So with family, if you've been praying for somebody and let's just say you pray with them over the phone and then they say, you know what, they text you, I'm going to come to church. I would call them and I'd be like, what? Yeah. And I'd be fired up about it. Yeah. It's not invasive. Even though we've already had previous text messages or Facebook Messenger conversations, there's a difference. If they say, I'm going to come to your church, doesn't matter if I talked to them 15 minutes ago, I would likely pick up the phone and call them and be excited with them. Yeah, you know, so I love it. One of my favorite things to do. I do this for my friends. I've done it for clients. I do it for. I do it for my wife and even people I've just met. Is I'll just make a quick selfie video. Like I'll literally like grab my phone or whatever, right? You know, and just be like, oh man, like Jeff, hey, I'm super excited you're coming to church on Sunday. Man, I can't wait to meet you. Listen, we're gonna have a host waiting for you at the front door when you show up. But man, make sure to get there like 15 or 20 minutes early because I'd love to connect with you before service starts. So man, I'm pumped. Can't wait to see you Sunday. See you soon. Right? Like somebody sees that and that you took time to go like make them a video and send that over to them. It's a game changer. Right? Like it's just they see your face, they hear you, and you're just being authentic and just excited. Right. And man, like that just pulls people in and they want to be a part of that. Right. Every single person wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves. Right. And now like there's just an important dynamic of like, oh, I know the guy that runs that thing. Right. Like I know the pastor over there. Like, oh yeah, like he sent me a video. Right. Like, oh yeah, like he prayed for me on Facebook. We had a conversation. Like those are the type of things that are just gonna it speeds up that trust factor. Right. Organizations run at the speed of trust. And so if you can get people to know, like, and trust you, right, they'll come out to your church and, you know, and they'll be rock star volunteers and they'll get plugged in. But all of it is predicated on how fast you can get them to know, like, and trust you. So all of those things work together. But I think that's a huge deal. And like I said, that's one of my personal little secret sauce things is I love just sending little selfie videos. We should probably open it up to more questions because we have a lot of people on.
All right, let's do it.
Brian's wanting back in. There we go. All right. Anybody else have any questions? You can unmute yourselves.
Where do we find our prayer requests in ManyChat? We're still new. We're only like a week in, but we've had like 99 subscribers and prayed for over probably 130 people.
Awesome.
But where do we find our prayer requests that have come in?
Yeah, let's here, we'll share the screen with you and we'll actually pull up ManyChat and show you exactly where to go.
Right on.
Where's the church? What's your church name again?
Union Chapel.
Chapel, yeah.
That's right. Union Chapel. All right.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, so which that blue line going up is a great thing. All right, all you do is click on, shows you perfect. It's doing what it's supposed to. Just click on audience in the top left there underneath the dashboard, right? Okay. And this shows you all of the people that are subscribers. And you can see over in the top right, so you've got 100 subscribers, right? And that's going to show you. So if you wanted to look at just the plan your visits, Caleb, click on that planned visit tag. Boom. So those are all the people that have planned the visit and when they plan their visit. And so you can actually click on Beth. You can click on Beth, and then so you see over here in the custom fields,
Yep.
it has her email and phone number and her prayer request are all pulled in. So that way you actually have, so if you have that, like, let's say there's some people that slipped through the cracks a while ago, or maybe you just want to send out, you know, an email or a text message to everyone that, you know, like it's like a month from now and you want to reach back out.
Okay.
What you can do is you can just come in here and you can just grab everyone's phone number and email just by clicking on that plan visit tag. And now these are all the people that plan to visit, and then you can reach out to them that way. Right. So you can do it manually, or you can upload their emails into on an email list or something.
Okay.
I think doing it one at a time manually is always going to be better, right? Especially if you can use their name in there. But there's a couple of different ways to do it, but that's going to be really effective. And so it makes it super easy to be able to go in there and check that plan visit. We also have something built out that's the prayer request follow-up. So a month out, what it's going to do is every single person that submitted a prayer request, so these are all the people that are already submitted to that tag. So so 4 weeks later, it's going to pull them in, and it's going to it'll pull in like Beth, right? It'll say, hey, Beth, about a month ago, you sent us a prayer request, and then it'll pull in her actual prayer request, you know, and then just says, hey, just want to follow up with you and see how everything's going. Right. So it's a way to just do it. So that way you don't have to remember, right? Because you're going to have hundreds here pretty quick. You don't have to remember hundreds of people, right? Like Will, I know you're at like 12 or 1300 now. Right. So you don't have to remember all those people, like to text them and 4 weeks later or something like that. The system automatically does it for you. And then it re-engages them and kind of creates that conversation again. Right. So it just gives you a chance. So they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Really appreciate you remembering. Hey, things are going really good. Or man, still praying, you know, nothing's changed, you know, like, but whatever it is, but it kind of re-engages them and gets that conversation started.
Yeah.
So, but that's how you can see all of those is by going in there, you go into audience, and then you have, by clicking on the tag, it'll pull up every single person that is subscribed to that tag.
Do you see it, Jeff?
Okay. You're breaking up just a little bit. Can you say that last part again? Audience, and then what?
Yeah, so you'll click on audience, go to your ManyChat, click on audience, and then in that top right are all the tags. So you just click on whichever tag. So immediately it'll show you all of your subscribers when you first click into audience. And then you can narrow it down by clicking on the tag. Like if you're just looking for the plan your visits, you can click on that planned visit tag, and it'll automatically only pull up like those 8 people.
Is there a way to see it in a spreadsheet or something that I can pass on to someone else, or do I have to be able to log into this?
So right now you have to log into it, but if you shoot Heather an email, Heather at churchgrowthagency.com, and we can see about having the tech team see if there's see if we can do something here with maybe like a Google Sheet or something.
Okay. All right, that's helpful. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, one last follow-up to that. We're getting a lot of people who are putting their prayer requests in the comments, and we're engaging with them in the comments, but that doesn't get them subscribed as for my dashboard or my blast emails, right?
Right. Yeah. So unfortunately, it's just kind of the nature of Facebook, right? It's one of those things where it's both good and bad. The bummer is that they're not being subscribed to your messenger list, right? But the good part is, like, as they comment and then you go in and comment back and then they respond and then somebody else comments, what happens is Facebook looks at that and they see all that social juice and they see the fact that, oh, wow, look how many people are liking and commenting. And so they'll start showing your Facebook ads to more people for less money. So the whole system works better, and you actually end up getting, it ends up being more effective, but those people aren't on the subscriber list, right? So it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Is your Facebook ads are working better, the whole system's working better. Oh, go ahead.
But if I message them from there, there's a link to message them. It opens up a chat and say praying for you. Does that put them in the dashboard?
No, so it doesn't subscribe them, but it does at least keep like you know, like all those messages would now be saved inside of your messenger, so you could always go back and do that, right? The other thing that you can do is once you're talking to them, just like you know, just kind of deliver what the sequences do automatically. You could just do manually. So if you're keeping that in Messenger, right? Pray for them, send the audio prayer through there, and then just say, hey, listen, we're having church this Sunday at 10 o'clock. Would you like to come out so I can pray for you in person? Right. And if they say yes, like, okay, great. And then you can get the information. If they say no, okay, great. We'll be praying for you. Feel free to reach out if you need anything else. So they still can't subscribe them in there. The way that Facebook does it is they make it so that you have to actually like click a button to subscribe. That's why like when they see the ad, they click send message, and that doesn't subscribe them. That takes them into Messenger and it says, okay, great. Click on the send message button or send prayer request button, like to get started. Once they click that button, it automatically subscribes them to the Messenger. That's why some people read that and they don't click the button. They just type in their prayer request. It doesn't actually subscribe them unless they hit that button. So that's and again, that's just one of Facebook's thing. They're trying to crack down to make sure that people aren't automatically just subscribing to a bunch of people and then spamming them. So but yeah, so the more you respond to those comments, the more Facebook's going to show those ads. So you're going to end up getting more subscribers and more prayer requests on the back end because of that. There's just unfortunately no way to subscribe them from the comments to your Messenger list.
So the haters don't even know. They're really boosting it. All the haters.
That's the thing. Yeah. Like haters, like even like on our Facebook ads and stuff like that, like people that go on there and want to hate on us, I'm like, you're just helping us. Like you're helping Facebook show our ad to more people. So yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that hateful comment. Do you have more like you?
So on that note, actually, the whole thing about haters. So if they start cussing on there, when do we block? What do you recommend for that? I mean, I've taken out the real vulgar ones, but other ones you leave on there, it's healthy.
Yeah. So I would say, kind of leave it up to your discretion, right? Like if people are being sarcastic, like, I mean, gosh, if you're Sean, you can just get him saved real quick and plug him into the church, I guess. That's I don't know why I didn't think of that. We should say
right.
But right. So for everybody else, like
God is good.
That's awesome. But so for everybody else, like, yeah, like if they're being real vulgar and they're just like, you just block them. That way they won't see future Facebook ads. They won't jump on there. But like for some people that are like sarcastic, right? Like it's good to engage the haters. People try to get into theology debates and stuff like that with me on our Facebook ads. And sometimes we talk about it, like if they're usually not respectful, but if they're at least like not cussing or like, super hateful or whatever, like, we'll chat back and forth. But I just know that every time like they say something and then I say something and then they say something back and I say something again, I'm like, this is just helping me, bro. Like it's just more and more like Facebook is loving the interaction we're having going on here, even though he thinks I'm the devil for using Facebook to get people saved, right? So that's just kind of how it is.
The same person. I've got a same person who sends me this same prayer request about hoping her boyfriend will be on the plane coming back to her every single day. So is she just costing me money to send me this every day?
No, so if you could like go in and actually block her so it doesn't show it to her anymore if you want to, but it's not like, again, like Facebook is looking for results. They want to give you results and because they want you to keep paying them money, right? So like they're just going to keep doing that or whatever. So if they see that she keeps coming back and like they just say, okay, well, I mean, like this is
this. So
this ad is working, and they say, let's show this ad to more people like her, right? And so they literally grab like thousands of points of data. Right. So it's like, okay, she's 26, single, like didn't go to college, but eats pizza all the time and and loves the Broncos. I mean, it literally be like all these different things.
Hey, Bronco.
Yeah, we got 2 Broncos fans.
Well, I like to hear. I'm a Redskins fan and we've sucked for like 20 years. So like, if you ever want to, you can be like, yeah, how are the Redskins doing? Yeah, we're absolutely terrible. So, right. But, so yeah, if she does have a lapse in judgment and she is a Broncos fan, then, it'll show it to other Broncos fans. So, but that, that's the cool thing about Facebook is like their AI is so incredible. Like it's why I think it's one of the most incredible ministry tools on the face of the planet. It's why I never shut up about Facebook. Like actually I don't own Facebook stock. Like I've never met Zuckerberg. Like I don't actually care about Facebook other than the fact that we can use it and use that technology to reach people with the gospel. right? Like if that moves over to Instagram, or like if YouTube becomes better for that, or like some platform we've never heard of, I'll be all about that thing. It's just right now Facebook is that. I mean, there's 2.5 billion people on Facebook and 1.5 billion log in every single day. And the average time spent per visit is 20 minutes. And the average person checks Facebook 8 times a day. So they're on there for several hours per day. So if we can use something like a Facebook ad, to reach people and offer to pray for them, so that our first interaction is us giving away ministry, right? And then inviting them to church. Gosh, I want to do that all day long. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Does that kind of answer your question as far as the, excuse me, kind of how to handle the haters? Will, I know you had the original question. So yeah, if people are cussing, it's that kind of stuff, right? If you can tell they're the type of people that are going to keep commenting and keep just being jerks, whatever, yeah, just block them. I do that all the time on our church. But then other ones, like some people who are right, like maybe they're sarcastic and they say yeah right to one of them, right? Just like, oh well, what do you mean? Like that's one of my favorite questions is, what do you mean? Because people be like, oh, like God is bull crap. I'll be like, oh, what do you mean? Like, well, he doesn't exist. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? Well, like, and if you keep asking, like, basically it gets down to, well, my grandmother went to church every single Sunday and she had cancer and she died, so God must not exist. It's like, okay, right? So it's a classic problem of evil. This actually isn't, like, he actually doesn't believe intellectually that God doesn't exist. He's just still hurt and misses his grandma, right? And it's emotional. It pretty much always is, right? So whatever it is, just by asking people and like taking interest in them and just saying, oh wow, man, what do you mean, right? Like, oh man, I'm really sorry that happened to you, bro. Right? Like it's amazing how far that a conversation like that can go. And some people engage with it and some people won't. So
I think it's Pastor Tony was asking, or maybe it was Pastor Scott when we were talking, and he said, we have that guy. Do other people have that? It's like, yes, we all have that one person or a few people that either comment or the prayer ad that's like makes you cringe or makes you frustrated or whatever. Like, it's mental health in some cases.
I got people hitting on my wife.
Oh my God. Well, God bless you for having a beautiful
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I get probably once a week, I got 2 guys on there saying, hey man, can you divorce your wife so I can marry her? Pray for that. So,
wow.
It's crazy.
That's wow. That's the first time I've heard that. That's awesome.
No joke, man. I've had, you want to talk about deleting comments on there? Oh man.
That's awesome.
Golly, man. Tony, are you there? I see you. It looks like you maybe have some problems. Can you hear me? You logged in a few times.
Yeah, I hear you. You hear me?
He's in Oologah.
Oh wow.
Oklahoma.
Right down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sooner Bread, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Tony's had, you were talking to me last week, I think, right? About your experience over the last month or 2?
Yeah, it's been the last couple months.
Yeah. I thought you had a testimony that you were sharing with me that I wanted you to bring.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick, if you don't mind.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Just kind of, I'll just kind of share our experiences real quick. It's been pretty phenomenal. So we live north of Tulsa. So it's a little bit more difficult.
Very rural.
We don't live in Tulsa, so it's different. And so I saw this with, Chris and Caleb reached out to us. And so I really wanted to, jump in on this. I attended some of other conferences with Chris before, just on, Facebook ads and stuff like that. Anyways, we put this thing into motion and we've been doing it, going on 7 weeks, 8 weeks or so, somewhere around there. And our church, it's a smaller church, so it's like we've been averaging like 60. That's with kids and all. Since we've started this, which is really just ministry focused. We're getting, all these prayer requests. We're getting people respond back saying, "Man, our prayers are being answered. Thank you, and this is the coolest thing ever." And there's no other church I know that's doing this. And so it's been so cool. But I was telling Caleb, numbers don't lie either. So like we get our plan your visits, we reach out to them, they come, we're engaging with them Monday morning. we get our Connect card from them Monday morning. I send out a personal video of myself just saying, hey, this is Pastor Tony. Just glad to have you in service this week. And if there's anything, you need, let me know. And especially when I do that, like people really get engaged with that. And so, but literally in the last 6 weeks, where our average has been about 60, we are now at 100.
Come on.
Our kids are growing. Our adult, Sunday morning service is constantly growing. I was telling Caleb, like consistently, we're getting, when I say 3 visitors, that's like, that could be 3 families. But consistently every week, except for 1 week, we've had 3. And it just continues. I already got families ready to come this next week. A lot of them are turning around, coming back. They're coming to our Next Steps class that we've developed and getting them plugged in. That's really been the key, is like getting them plugged in, let them see their importance to this as well. And so, yeah, I was just sharing that with Caleb, and just kind of what we're experiencing here. So, there's still our challenges, just from a, again, we are in a smaller community and stuff. So, from a, cost perspective, but I told my board, I was like, how do you really put a cost on changing somebody's life too, And so we're really trying to get creative on what we do and how we do it, because I really feel like we've done a lot of outreaches, a ton, and we have never got the responses that we have got in the last 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
So definitely want to just say thanks, guys. I mean, it's working here in Oologah. I was hesitant a little bit. I was just like, man, is this really going to work? But we're seeing people get saved, people being healed. So it's been really awesome.
Thank you guys for doing this. It takes a partnership with churches that are praying, that are actively praying and have that heart to reach the lost like this. So, I mean, it's, you build it and then you hope that you create ministry opportunities, but it takes you plugging into the Lord every day and then reaching out to these people. And that's, man.
It's awesome. Caleb and I were talking just this morning. There's that I know of, there's at least 3 people that through Facebook ads and churches we've been working with, so at least 3 people that 3 suicides that we've prevented so far through this system, right? So there's at least 3 people who are going to commit suicide, but saw one of the Facebook ads, reached out to a pastor, and those pastors were able to get them help. So, man, it's not always just about like plan your visits and that kind of stuff, right? Like there's like Tony, like you just talked about, right? How do you put a price on lives that are changed, right? Some of these guys are getting their, marriages healed, their bodies healed, right? Like their relationships restored and those types of things. I mean, some people are deciding not to commit suicide. There's actually hope, and it's worth living for because of Facebook ads. So, man, thank you guys for everything that you guys are doing. I know it's not easy committing to like, okay, let me just start responding to a bunch of prayer requests on top of everything else that I have to do today, right? With all, like running your church and casting vision and shepherding people and trying to create volunteers and programs and people and property and everything that goes into it. So thank you guys. I know, I know that it's not easy doing that, but it's worth it.
Amen.
So let's do maybe one more question here before we go. Does anybody else have a last and final question?
And I just, a lot of pressure, by the way, on this one. It must be really good because it's the last one. We're looking for spectacular. Anybody have a spectacular question? Maybe we should just do Q&A, just question, no answer.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Q&A?
Even if you don't have a spectacular question, but a crabby question, we can end with one of those too.
Okay, we can end. Okay.
I mean, either way.
All right. Any questions?
Nope. Okay.
Nobody has a question.
All right. Perfect. Well, listen, if you guys need anything, just
What's up?
again.
Oh, somebody? Brian, you have a question? Oh, he's talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay. Just shoot an email over heather@churchgrowthagency.com. So if you guys have questions or need something, shoot an email over to Heather. and we'll get you taken care of. So, man, appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Praying for you guys in the
Have a
back.
good one.
Meet all you
Thanks.
guys.